From sea to shining sea.
Wow, what a tribute in between games here at Citizens Bank Park, as of course we remember those lost on the anniversary, the 14th anniversary of September 11th, the attacks on September 11th, and men and women in uniform out on the field displaying the flags, and a moment of silence as well for the over 3,000 lives that were lost 14 years ago today. We're playing two tonight. The great Ernie Banks would be proud. Chicago Cubs and the Phils here at Citizens Bank Park. Phillies lost game number 1, 5-1, but they're getting set for game number 2. Cubs and the Phillies here in Philadelphia. Hi, everyone. We welcome you back into the broadcast booth alongside Matt Stairs. I'm Greg Murphy in for Tom McCarthy tonight, and game 1 is in the books, Matt. And just as we expected, Jake Arrieta was the big difference in that one. He has been so good all season long. He gets win number 19 on the season. First one in Major League Baseball to get to that mark. And when he needed to be good, he was. He was, and he was very good with all his pitches. He gave up a home run, which is only the second one since the All-Star break. But it's all about the offense getting the timely hitting. You know, and this came with Altair getting a home run to left center. And I was just talking about only the second home run giving up since the All-Star break. That was Altair's number 3rd of his young career. Then the 5th inning, here you have Dexter Fowler at first base. Jackson hit the ball down the left field line, scoring. Fowler all the way from first base. He was running on the play, making the first play, but not in time. Then followed by Chris Bryant. RBI double just past the reach of Freddie Galvis at shortstop, which made the game 2-1 in that situation right there. Then Russell comes up in the 6th inning. He gets a 2-run double. Man, we're getting to talk about doubles, aren't we, Murph? Yes, we certainly are. They had a bunch of them.
Yeah, he had a big double right there, make the game 4-1 right there. Then Castro comes up in the 6th inning, gets a pitch, hanging slider, crushed it to right center, and right there it made the game 5-1 for the Cubs, and that's all Arrieta needed, because he was pitching unbelievable tonight. He came out, didn't think he had the best command, but when he needed to, he could throw that slider down into the left-handed hitters. He had a very good changeup, overhand curveball to Cody Asher right there. Very nice changeup to Freddie Galvis. Again, another slider to Herrera inside. And just kept off the left-handed hitters off balance all night. When they're looking fastball, they're getting a slider, swinging over top of it, and that's why he only allowed 1 run through 8 innings.
Yeah, no, Adam Morgan was pretty good, too, in this game. He got into a little bit of trouble, as you pointed out, the 5th and the 6th innings. A couple of 2-out knocks that came back and haunted him. But for the most part, you know, was able to keep control, had pretty good command early in the game. But nonetheless, he suffers his 6th loss of the season. So, game 2 is upon us now. Here are your starters. Kyle Hendricks, 6-6 against Alec Asher, the right-hander for the Phils. We'll have first pitch and lineups coming up after this. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. By Citizens Bank. One deposit checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. By Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com today to find out. Toyota, let's go places. By Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Philadelphia Phillies. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at ibx.com. doubleheader. Phils, of course, losing the first one 5-1. Kyle Hendricks and Alec Asher on the hill for the two teams. Phils dugout is, well, it's packed, ready to go as the Phils try to split now this doubleheader and take one from the Cubs. They had beaten the Cubs 3 straight. Of course, they swept them out there in Chicago earlier this season. The Cubs give them a little bit of payback in game number 1 here. Because we're getting pretty close to ready to go. Fanatic doing his Ryan Howard impersonation. He's ready to go, as he often is.
He's always ready to go.
Yes, he is. He's acting out the Phillies lineup as Dan Baker, public address announcer here at Citizens Bank Park, goes through the Phils lineup. So why don't we take a look at our Nissan keys to the game while we wait, Matt? What do you got?
Well, to the second game here, we're going to say, I want the Phillies offense to think middle, because Hendricks doesn't throw very hard. He's got a very good changeup. Last thing I want you to do is get out there and roll over and hit a weak ground ball. And Asher, when you get 2 strikes, you need to put the hitters away. We've seen a lot of his first 2 starts. He's got 2 strikes on the hitters and hasn't been able to put away the hitters. So concentrate on getting 2 strikes and putting the hitters away.
All right. Sounds like 2 solid keys for the Phils, and they can follow those, perhaps get a victory here in game number 2. Guys up on the top step and now taking the field are the Phils, as we're about a minute away from first pitch. There is Alec Asher making his way to the mound at Citizens Bank Park. Asher 0-2 with an ERA of 10.62. And he's going to face this Cubs lineup in game number 2. And tonight's starting lineup for the Cubs is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Leading off will be Dexter Fowler. He'll play center field again. Kyle Schwarber gets a start out in left field. He'll bat second, followed by Chris Coghlan and Anthony Rizzo. Chris Bryant will bat fifth. He'll play third base in this one. Miguel Montero is behind the plate. Javier Baez. Kyle Hendricks, the pitcher, bats 8th. And batting 9th and playing shortstop is Addison Russell. And they will face Alec Asher. Now you see those numbers in 9 1/3 innings. He's allowed 16 hits, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, and 2 home runs as well. Very early in his major league career. What do you need to see from Alec Asher tonight?
Well, I'd like to see him work down the zone. You can see the scouting report right here. He's a 4-pitch pitcher, fastball 90-93, averages 91.6. His first 2 big league starts, the changeup has been his best pitch because it's been down in the zone. So I'd like to see him tonight attack the hitters, but think knees and lower and attack the zone and get more movement on the 2-seamer.
Keep it down in the zone. Well, in the first game, Adam Morgan was able to keep these guys off balance for a little while before falling into a little bit of trouble in the 5th and 6th innings. Look for the same of Alec Asher. Hope that he can get off to a good start, much like his teammate did Adam Morgan in the first game. Dexter Fowler is going to be the first one to face him. Fowler, game number 1. He had a base hit, 2 base hits, 2 for 5 in game number 1. Batting .255 on the season. He's got 17 home runs, 42 RBIs. Plays that solid defense out there in center field. We saw him track down a couple of balls that were hit hard by the Phils early in game 1 to no avail because of Fowler's ability to track him down. And there you see the numbers for the Cubs center fielder. 81 wins now for the Cubs. And first pitch of game 2 is swung on and sliced foul. So first pitch at 8:35 here at Citizens Bank Park. That one is also sliced down the left field line and out of play. It's quickly 0-2 to Dexter Fowler. Windup. That one's high for a ball.
Well, here's that 2-strike count we were talking about for one of the keys. Try to put the hitter away.
And that one is off the handle and popped up to third. Cody Ashe is there, makes the easy catch, and 1 down. first inning. That'll bring up Kyle Schwarber. He had the first game off, but he'll man left field for Joe Maddon's Cubs in game number 2. What a rookie season he is having. He's only been up about half the season, and he's just coming back from a ribcage injury. And there you see his numbers. Batting .262, 13 home runs, and 38 RBIs in limited action. He's a catcher, plays the outfield, and he can hit. And he smokes that one to center field, and that one is not coming back. Up into Ashburn Alley, a high fastball, and quickly it is 1-0 Cubs. His 14th home run of the season.
Well, some players make it look very easy. He gets up there and sees a first pitch elevated fastball and absolutely crushes that ball. Leg kick, timing perfect. High fastball out of the strike zone and crushes it.
He is a strong man, and you can see the result of that. Wow, that one was loud.
And hear the result.
So it's 1-0 Cubs. With one out here in the top of the first inning. Stepping in is Chris Coghlan. He takes that pitch over the outside corner for a strike. Coghlan also had game number 1 off. Right field here in game 2. That one's inside for a ball. It's 1-1.
That's where the players walk by him and say, hey, what's he got? He goes, a hanging fastball. That's the scouting report.
That's the only one he saw. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and that's on the outside corner. 1-2. Asher working quickly, has the 1-2 sign, and it's low for a ball. It's 2-2. So Quinn Wilcott was the home plate umpire for game 1. He gets the rest of the night off. Lance Barksdale, who did not call the first game, is behind the plate, as that one is swung on and pulled foul. Over at first base, it's Ryan Blakely. Eric Cooper is over at second, and Bay May down there at third. 5 umpires here in Philadelphia tonight because of the doubleheader. Ben May, the late call up to help out tonight.
Now he gets to eat Bull's barbecue.
That's right. 2-2 pitch, line shot right back up the middle and for a base hit. So Coghlan is aboard with a single. And that'll bring up Anthony Rizzo. Rizzo 0 for 4 in game 1. Did reach base on a walk back in the first inning, but struck out twice. Unable to record a base hit. Coghlan takes his lead off first. First pitch to Rizzo's inside for a ball. It's 1-0. Cameron Rupp is behind the plate in the second game for the Phils. Carlos Ruiz's night is done. There you see Rizzo's numbers. 282, 29 home runs, 88 RBIs. Pitch is over for a strike. It's 1-1.
It's a good location. We tried to do the same thing with Coghlan, throwing fastballs inside. Base hit came back up over middle of the plate, but he knows that it's a good night to hit. Cubs are free swinging hitters, so let's pound them inside. Get that fastball inside.
Quick throw over to first. Coghlan is back. So it's 1-1 to Anthony Rizzo as Coghlan gets his lead off first. Asher at the belt. The 1-1 pitch is outside for a ball. It's 2-1. Tonight's game is also available in Spanish. Just use the SAP button on your television or change the language through the menu on your cable box.
See.
That's right. The 2-1 pitch. It's low for a ball. It's 3-1. Not the count you want to be in to Anthony Rizzo at this point of the game. Coghlan will lead off first. 1 run already across on the home run by Kyle Schwarber. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Outside for a ball. He walks. So Chris Bryant will be the batter. Bryant struck out 3 times in the first game, but he also had RBI double and single as well. 2 for 5 in the early contest. '87 RBIs on the season now, which is, as we told you earlier, a new rookie record for the Cubs franchise. One out. Cubs runners leading off first and second. Pitch to Bryant is swung on and missed.
Well, one thing you will see from Chris Bryant is he will strike out an awful lot. 171 times this year. But he will run into quite a few home runs and a lot of doubles.
And that one is off the end of the bat, popped up to right field. Bogusevic has it lined up and will make the catch for the second out of the inning. So a good pitch by Alec Asher there to get Chris Bryant for the second out. And that'll bring up Miguel Montero. Montero doing the catching.
I thought this pickup was one of the best ones they did in the offseason. Getting him from Arizona. I think he does a nice job behind home plate. He's got some thunder in the bat. You can put him anywhere in the order.
Yeah. Yeah, it's part of the reason you see Schwarber not catching as much. They have 2 very good defensive catchers. And in Ross, that we saw in the game 1, and also in Montero. Montero a little bit more of an offensive player than Ross is. Asher's quickly ahead of him, 0-1. Coghlan's in second. He singled. Anthony Rizzo at first. He walked. Pitch is low for a ball. It's 1-1. In the dirt. Nice play by Cameron Rupp to keep that in front of him. The runners stay put, and it's 2-1 now to Miguel Montero. Rupp and Asher trying to get on the same page.
Yeah, Asher's having a hard time seeing the signs. It's the third time right here.
They're going to have a conversation about it.
A lot of catches will have bright fingernail polish on. We saw A.J. Brzezinski with the Braves. He had the bright green on there. That's probably not the technical right term of color for the nail polish, but I'd have to ask my wife or my daughters on that one.
Yeah, I can't help you out with that one, man. I'm sorry. Well, he and Asher have come to some kind of agreement, and it's 2-1 now. As Montero steps in, and 2-1 pitch. It's outside for a ball. It's 3-1. Of course, Asher was acquired from the Texas Rangers as part of the deal that sent Cole Hamels and Jake Diekman to the Texas Rangers. Brought back a whole host of arms, Asher being one of them. Made his debut a little bit earlier this season. Falls inside for a ball, so he walks him the second walk of the first inning, and the bases are now loaded. Asher was the 5th starting pitcher to make his major league debut for the Phils this year. That is a franchise record for the Fighting Phils. Severino Gonzalez, Adam Morgan, who we saw in Game 1, Aaron Nola, Jared Eichhoff, and then of course Asher, all making their major league debuts. So Bob McClure has a chat with his young right-hander, as does Ryan Howard.
Not really where you want to be in the first inning. 11 balls, 12 strikes. Having a hard time controlling that fastball. Hasn't been able to throw his off-speed pitch yet for a strike.
Well, Javier Baez will step in. Jumped his average about 25 points in the first game with a couple of hits. First pitch to him is low and outside for a ball. Asher trying to find his command early in this game. That's a sign from Cameron Rupp. Pitch, big swing and a miss. It's 1-1. Baez was trying to put them up by 5 early.
Yeah, that's a photo finish swing. You look and see where it's going to land. If he would have hit it, hopefully someone got a pitcher.
Well, that's probably not what Joe Madden was looking for in that particular moment.
It's a first strike.
says the guy as he hits that one foul, nubs it foul. Cubs dugout. So Asher's ahead of him 1-2, and he can see himself out of this jam. 2 outs in the top of the first.
I always said that the first swing was for the fans. He swung as hard as they could so they get on the edge of the seats. They drop the ooh. Second one you back off a little bit. Third one you make contact and have some fun.
And there is the career of Matt Stairs. 1-2 pitch in the dirt. It's 2-2. We got a couple ooh-ah moments.
Yeah, but take it about 1,200 times I didn't listen to myself. And I took that first swing 3 times every time.
Well, that happens too.
My theory was if I got on base, I would have jammed the bases. We just got pinch ran for us. That's no fun.
Bases are loaded here in the top of the first. Asher has his sign from Cameron Rupp. Two pitch, swing and a miss, and he got him. Big strikeout there for Alec Asher, and he's able to get out of a jam, but he put himself in. A couple of walks and a base hit loaded him up, but only 1 run gets pushed across, that on the solo shot by Kyle Schwarber. It's 1-0 Cubs. Phillies coming to bat. Schwarber, but Alec Asher able to battle out of that jam. Good news for him. Tonight's starting lineup for the Phillies is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Odubel Herrera will lead off, play center field, followed by Darnell Sweeney, the second baseman. Andres Blanco will play shortstop and bat third. Jeff Francoeur, Ryan Howard, Cameron Rupp behind the plate. Brian Bogasevic gets the start in right field. Cody Ashley will bat eighth and play third base. And the pitcher batting ninth is Alec Asher, and they will be facing Kyle Hendricks, making his 28th start of the year. Record of 6-6 in the ERA of 4.08. 25-year-old, grew up in California, but did his college baseball at Dartmouth University.
Yep. He's not an overpowering pitcher. He's a four-pitch pitcher. Average velocity 88.4. Changeup is his best pitch. The league is hitting 190 and has struck out 59 hitters with the changeup this year, which is third in baseball behind Cole Hamels and Felix Hernandez.
How about that? And as you said, he's not going to overpower you for sure, but pinpoint control, command, that's what he's all about. A little bit like Aaron Nola is for the Phillies. That's the kind of guy that this guy is. So when he's on with his command, he can be very, very good. Odubel Herrera is leading off in this one. He batted third in game one and didn't fare all that well. He's an 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. His average has dropped to 297 from 300. But we know that Herrera can get hot and get hot quickly. He takes that one over for a strike. It's 1-2. Left-handers have so many problems against Jake Arrieta, and we saw that with Herrera in game number 1. I'm sure he's happy to see a right-hander on the mound right now.
Well, here comes that changeup we were talking about.
And that one's low and outside for a ball. It's 2-2. Well, today's Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Sarah Marshall from Pocono Lake, Pennsylvania. If the Phillies hit a home run in the game, Sarah will win $100. Insert forgetting Sarah Marshall jokes here, right? The name of that movie? You don't know. As Herrera fouls that one off. That's right, Carl? Forgetting Sarah Marshall? I think so. So the count is even to Odubel Herrera, 2-2. Hendricks has his sign. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Slicing foul, out of play. And he'll do it again. It'll be Herrera, Sweeney, and Blanco for the Phillies here in the bottom of the first. Fouls it again.
You know, and I do not mind these foul balls going to the left. Because like I said in my keys, when you're facing a guy that's not overpowering, last thing you want to do is get out on the front foot and do a 3-U, do a 4-3. That's why you think middle of the field, think getting jammed. That'll keep your bat to the zone a little longer and give you a better opportunity to stay gap to gap.
Here's the 2-2 pitch, and it's inside for a ball. It's 3-2. I think Herrera thinks he got away with one there.
I think so. This is a front door sinker. Pretty good pitch, good location.
Maybe a hair inside.
And Herrera's like, okay.
All right, new life. It's 3-2.
He's going, gracias, Lance.
Here's the 3-2 pitch, and that is outside for a ball. And he walks him. So Herrera is the leadoff base runner with a walk. And that'll bring up Darnell Sweeney. Sweeney batting 209, 3 home runs, 8 RBIs so far since arriving in Philadelphia. Of course, it's part of the Chase Utley deal. Sent Chase to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Sweeney's hit a lot of balls hard since he's been here. First pitch to him is outside for a ball. It's 1-0. gets his lead off first. And he's chased back.
That's the 5th baseball that's been thrown out so far.
Can't find the field. On both sides? I had noticed.
On both sides.
Pitch to Sweeney. Swing and a miss. It's 1-1. Herrera, of course, is a threat to run. He's got 14 stolen bases so far this season. Not a very big lead down there at first. Timeout is called. Chases Herrera back.
We haven't been as aggressive on the base passes as we were, say, right around the All-Star break.
Not at all. Haven't had as many base runners to be aggressive as Sweeney swings through that. Makes 1 and 2. But you're right. You know, guys like Hernandez who were stealing bases at will, it seemed like, at that point when the Phillies were winning some games right out of the All-Star break. Herrera. Really slowed down. Those are the only 2 guys in double digits for the Phillies and steals. That one's high and outside for a ball. It's 2 and 2. You know, it would be nice to maybe put a guy in motion, get some things happening, try to get this crowd into it on a Friday night.
Which turned out to be a nice crowd.
Yeah. Swing and miss. And he is down swinging for the first out here in the bottom of the first. First strikeout for Hendricks.
Well, this is that changeup we're talking about. You cannot pull off the point of contact. You need to think through the middle. And that's what happens is you get you out in front of it, eventually fades out of the zone to swing and miss.
So that'll bring up Andres Blanco. 306. 5 home runs, 18 RBIs. Pinch hit in the 9th inning in game number 1. He grounds that one to Russell for 1. Over to first for a 6-4-3 double play. So Hendricks allows the leadoff walk, but it doesn't hurt him. Gets out of the inning as the Phils just 3 batters bat in the bottom of the first. Game number 3, 7:05 Saturday night. Then on Sunday at 1:35. Remember, it's the New Jersey Education Association, the Philly Fanatics one-man band DVD. It's free to all fans, 14 and under. Only September weekend to enjoy baseball and some great weather here at Citizens Bank Park. So make sure you come on out. Order your tickets at Phillies.com. Kyle Hendricks steps in. Face Alec Asher here in the top of the second, and he's swinging. He pops it up. Shallow center field. Back on is Darnell Sweeney in shallow center. Make the catch for the first out of the inning. And as we play our second of 2, Leslie Goodell, that's the subject of our Cold Hard Fact.
Yes, our Cold Hard Fact, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, Murph, is about these two teams and their long history of playing each other. But this is the first twin bill between the Phillies and Cubs since April 18, 2001 at Wrigley Field. The Cubs won both of those. And then prior to that, it's the first one in Philadelphia since June 15, 1990 at the Vet. The Phillies won both of those. But Chicago and Philadelphia have played 260 traditional doubleheaders in their 133-year rivalry. So obviously a lot of that occurred over 25 years ago. Murph?
Wow. Talk about a long-standing rivalry, 260 doubleheaders. Thank you, Leslie, for that. Addison Russell was first pitch swinging. He flew out to right field for the second out of the inning. I don't know about you, Matt, but I like a doubleheader, the Twilight doubleheader.
I mean, as a player, I loved it. Now, if I didn't get any hits the first game, I hated it. It made for one long day.
I can understand that part of it. Dexter Fowler steps in, slices that one foul. It's 1-1. But what if he got 2 hits in game 1?
Oh, greatest game ever. Hopefully he got benched for the second one. No, I enjoyed. I hated the split doubleheaders.
Yeah, they're tough. That one's upstairs for a ball. It's 2-1.
I mean, a man can only eat and play that much cards in between games as a person can. But
not a whole lot of time to eat between game 1 and game 2 tonight.
No.
Although we did our best. He lifts that one down the left field line, but that one's going to find the seats as well. It's now 2-2 to Dexter Fowler. Popped up to shortstop, his first at bat. We managed still.
We did. Can never go wrong with Bull's barbecue and some chickens and Pete's French fries.
That's right.
Crab fries.
Some crab fries. Fouled off at the plate. Stays 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And it's a line drive. Fair ball down the right field line. That's going to go into the corner. It's played nicely by Bogusevic, but with Fowler's speed, no problem as he cruises into second. And that is a double for Dexter Fowler. So a man in scoring position. With 2 outs here in the second inning.
Fastball split the middle of the plate. Doesn't hook it too much. Stays fair. Bogusevic does a nice job getting over there, cutting it off and getting it quick.
So that'll bring Kyle Schwarber to the plate. He's seen 1 pitch so far in this game, and he deposited it in the Ashburn Alley. Solo home run, his 14th of the season. Fowler leads off second. First pitch swinging again, and that one is belted to left field. Going back on it is Francoeur, and that one is gone. 2 pitches and 2 home runs to Kyle Schwarber. That one a 2-run shot, and the Cubs now lead it 3-0.
2 pitches, 2 home runs, and a bad wipeout at first base.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened. Did he fall over there?
Slipped.
We'll hear from his teammates about that. Watching it, and around the first base bag, and whoop! Right down he goes. I don't know if he thought his first base coach tripped him or what. So they'll be laughing about that in the Cubs dugout. They are certainly not laughing about it in the Phillies dugout, as as for the second time in as many at bats, Schwarber goes deep off of Alec Asher. So that'll bring up Chris Coghlan, who singled in his first at bat. After getting the first two guys rather easily in this second inning, Alec Asher finds himself in trouble again. It's low and outside for a ball. It's 2-0.
You look in the dugout of the Chicago Cubs, a lot of the good chemistry working on right now. It's one big happy family having some fun. Guys joking with each other.
81 wins at this part of the season will do that.
Kind of reminds me of a team in 08 and 09.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of young guys coming into their own, and in a lot of ways, much like 2008 here in Philadelphia, for many people, maybe a year ahead of schedule.
Right.
I think a lot of people thought that 08 would be another growing year, and maybe the Phils would take another step in the postseason after being swept out in 07. But nope, they went all the way and won the World Series. And this Cubs team, although there's some pretty formidable competition, they certainly seem to have the swagger to get it done.
They do. I mean, offensively, you look at the numbers, they're at the bottom of the averages in the league of baseball.
Yeah, it's hard to figure that part of it out. They've scored near the bottom of fewest runs in all of Major League Baseball. They have a team batting average that is dead last in all of baseball. And quite frankly, their fielding percentage isn't all that great either. It's near the bottom in the National League. But good pitching, as that one is off the plate. Nice play by Asher behind him and gets the final out of the inning. But good pitching and timely hitting will go a long, long way. And that's what the Cubs have done. Kyle Schwarber, some timely hitting. That, his first pitch of the evening up on Ashburn Alley. And that, his second pitch of the evening. That one deposited in the left center field. He's the difference so far. Cubs lead at 3-0. Morning show, Breakfast on Broad. Rob, Jillian, Sarah, and Barrett discuss the Phillies' future in the front office. And former Eagle Jeremiah Trotter stops by to talk about the Eagles' upcoming season. Check out Bob Saturday afternoon at 4 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Of course, every morning on the Comcast network from 6 to 8 in the morning. Check them out. As Jeff Francoeur steps to the plate, his first at bat, game number 2. Takes that one outside for a ball. It's 1-1. Francoeur had a couple of hits in the first game. Takes a hack and swings through it. It's 1-2 right now to Jeff Francoeur. Has his sign. That one's off the end of the bat. Rizzo's going to have to spin and make a Strong throw to Hendrickson, who's covering at first, to get Francoeur. Nice play by Anthony Rizzo down there at first.
Well, this is a tough play, excuse me. He comes over, he spins. Now you have to time it right, throw a missile, lead the pitcher going to the bag. So he does the best stride. And they do that 1,000 times in spring training.
Yes, they do.
And probably 0 during the season.
Oh, maybe once or twice.
If they're winning, 0 times during the season.
Well, Ryan Howard will step in. He was 0 for 4 in the first game. He takes that first pitch inside for a ball. It's 1-0. Howard's struggles are well documented. 0 for his last 32. Just looking for anything at this point to fall in. Maybe change the mojo a little bit. Hit a couple balls hard in the first game. Nothing to show for it. Joe Madden and the Cubs have the shift in place for Ryan Howard. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and that is lined to left field. Schwarber's going back on it at the warning track, reaches up and makes the catch. Howard hit it hard. Schwarber was able to go back on that one and pull it in for the second out of the evening. That man's doing it all tonight.
Offense, defense, gets a nice jump right here. Good swing by Ryan Howard, but a little tippy toes towards the end, but makes a nice leaping catch and then face plants the wall.
Game of inches. I mean, that's off the wall if it's 2 inches, 2 inches higher for Ryan Howard. It's good to see him going the other way, but he knows it. He can't catch a break right now.
And he does not want to hear, hey, way to swing.
No, he doesn't. But he will when he gets back to the dugout. That one is lined by Cameron Rupp to right field. Right there is Chris Coughlin to make the catch. 1, 2, 3. Go the Phillies in the bottom of the second. Just 8 pitches for Kyle Hendricks in that one. A little bit too easy. We'll head to the top of the third. Phillies trail by 3. Third inning. Kyle Schwarber has done all the damage so far for the Cubs. 2 home runs, a solo shot in the first, 2-run shot in the second, and that is where we stand right now. Anthony Rizzo, Chris Bryant, Miguel Montero, 1, 2, and 3 for the Cubs in this inning.
2 pitches.
Yep.
2 different pitches. 2 home runs. Fastball, slider.
You ever done that? 2 pitches, 2 home runs?
No. Well, I don't know. Probably not. I had a home run my first at bat. Pretty good chance I was done for the day.
We're at a little bit of a delay as the Phils put their defense in order for Anthony Rizzo, and they put the shift on, and that one is popped the other way, but in comes Jeff Francoeur. He's able to make the catch. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Alec Asher here in the third. That'll bring up Chris Bryant. He flew out to right field in his first at bat. You know, it's interesting to hear Joe Maddon talk about Chris Bryant and what he wants to do with him defensively, because you know they have Javier Baez now. Pitch is low for a ball. It's 1-0. Who they really like at third base, and Chris Bryant is a solid third baseman, but certainly not a plus third baseman. So they've moved him out to left field, where he has played a handful of games as Herrera gets turned around, but able to track that one down for the second out here in the top of the third. So over the course of the last 13 games, Chris Bryant has played 6 of them in left field and 7 of them in third base, and he's back at third base in this one after playing left field in game number 1. Joe Maddon was asked, well, is that the plan going forward? He said, yeah. He said, I like my guys to be versatile. I want them to be able to play in different spots. Reporters asked Chris Bryant if he was okay with that, and he said, hey, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. And he seems to be settling in just fine in both positions, as that one has popped up. And Jeff Francoeur calls off Andres Blanco. A 4-pitch inning for Alec Asher. He needed that. That was good to see. 1, 2, 3 go the Cubs. We're through 2.5. They lead it 3-0. Line. Tonight's question is this: which major league team originally drafted Anthony Rizzo? The answer is going to be revealed later in the game. Now, I led you astray because I told you that was an easy question, and it might be for you, but the other one that we had prior was much easier than that, I thought. But you look confident, so yeah. I have faith in you. You got a 1 in 29 chance getting it right.
Well, I know where he came from. I just wasn't sure if that was the original team.
Okay. Leading it off here in the bottom of the third will be Brian Bogusevic, playing right field. A lofty 600 average since being called up from the Lehigh Valley. Takes that first pitch on the outside corner for a strike. It's 0-1.
Didn't we have a chat about this earlier?
What's that?
About Rizzo?
We may have. That one's over for a strike as well. Unlike Tom, I'm not going to give you many hints.
Yeah.
I'm a tough grader. So Hendricks quickly ahead of Brian Bogusevic, 0-2, and that one's in the dirt. It's 1-2. Bogusevic pinch hit in game number 1, got a base hit late in that game. 3 hits and 5 at bats since joining the Phillies. It's a 1-2 pitch. Line drive, center field. Fowler goes to his knees to make that catch. That ball was knuckling a little bit, and Fowler does a nice job staying with it. for the first out of the inning. It's time now to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag #PhillyPhotoDataStrongFan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's all brought to you by T-Mobile. Leslie Goodell with us tonight. We'll be throughout the weekend. We'll have that photo coming up in just a little bit. Cody Ashley steps to the plate. His first at bat in game number 2. 245, 7 home runs, 25 RBIs so far on the season for Cody Ashley. Ashley had a couple hits in the first game as well, as that one misses on the outside. It's 2-0 now to Cody Ashley. Phil still looking for their first base runner. And Ashley swings, fouls that one straight back. It's 2-1. From the windup, 2-1 pitch, ground ball, second base. Baez has it, fires the first. 2 away here in the third. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com today to find out. Toyota, let's go places. By WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And by Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. 2 outs, bottom of the third. The pitcher, Alec Asher, steps to the plate. Still looking for his first major league hit. Just 2 at bats, 0 for 2. It's fouled back below us to our right. Some seats have started to fill up here. Some extra baseball tonight. Of course, the rain out last night forcing this twilight doubleheader. And couldn't ask for a better night in the month of September. It is beautiful here. Perfect view of the skyline from the booth. Swing and a miss. And Asher goes down swinging. Second strikeout for Hendricks. And that's the third out of the inning. They're enjoying some ice cream here. Some Turkey Hill ice cream here at Citizens Bank Park. We'll be back with the 4th inning after this. Pods, great tasting coffee at amazingly low prices, delivered free the very same day when you order by 11:30. WB Mason knocks it out of the park. Who but WB Mason? Top of the 4th here at Citizens Bank Park. The Galapagos gang is hanging out in Ashburn Alley. I don't know what's happening to her. That's Bessie. She's having some fun with the fans. You can see down there on the field a couple of first responders are being honored tonight here at Citizens Bank Park. In fact, many first responders as we continue to remember the events of 14 years ago on this date, September 11th. As we remember those that lost their lives in the tragic attacks of September 11th, but also we'll celebrate those first responders that are here tonight. Thank them for what they do on a daily basis. We certainly put our hands together for the men and women in uniform here tonight. And there are a lot of them, which is great to see. Javier Baez will lead it off for the Cubs. Struck out in his first at bat. Alec Asher coming off a 4-pitch inning in the third. He gets that one over for a strike. It's 0-1. Inside for a ball, 1-1. Asher's the 14th different pitcher to make a start for the Phillies this season. 14. That one is lined into the left center field. On the run is Herrera. Man, closing speed is good, as Herrera is able to track that one down right in front of the 374 sign. That's the first out. I thought that one was getting in the gap.
Yeah, I did too. And from our vantage point, you could just see that he took the proper route to this ball. No hesitation. Jumped right away. Made the catch look very easy.
Looks like a wide receiver doing a slant route to the corner. It's been fun to watch. So one out, and that one is grounded by Kyle Hendricks to second base. Sweeney's up with it, and that's the second out of the inning. So Alec Asher, 8 pitches, 5 outs. That'll get your pitch count back where you want it to be. We'll bring up Addison Russell in the 9-hole. Shortstop. He flew out to right field. Brian Bogusevic back in the second inning. It's a good problem to have for Joe Madden when the guy batting in your 9-hole has 13 home runs. Check swing, foul.
Yeah, your 9-hole hitter has 13 home runs, 25 doubles, and 46 stakes.
He swings through that one. It's 1-2. Out of town scoreboard. The Nationals are down in Miami, taking on the Marlins, and in the bottom of the 7th, Nats trail at 2-1. Ramos with an RBI in that game, and swing and a miss. Addison Russell goes down swinging. An 8-pitch inning for Alec Asher, and he'll take it as he gets Russell swinging. First strikeout of the night for Asher. We're headed to the bottom of the 4th. Jefferson, where health is all we do. Call 1-800-JEFF now or visit jefferson.edu. And by your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Delaware Valley Honda dealer or visit DelValHondaDealers.com. Bottom of the fourth, Phils trail by 3. Still looking for their first hit of the evening. Still looking for their first base runner of the evening as well. Top of the order to face Hendricks, Herrera, Sweeney, and Blanco. I shouldn't say that. Herrera did walk his first at bat, got a race on a double play. So Hendricks has faced the minimum, but they have had a base runner. First pitch to Odubel is over for a strike. It's 0-1. Got something to say, Matt?
Talk button's not working.
I hate when that happens. Hendricks is ahead of Herrera 0-2 from the windup. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Inside. A little high for a ball. It's 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Line drive, base hit down the left field line. That could be extra bases. Herrera rounds first, and he will cruise into second as that one's picked up by Schwarber and quickly gotten back into the infield. But that's the first hit for the Phils. It's an extra base hit for Odubel Herrera, and the Phils have a man in scoring position.
Their fans love it.
Yep. El Torito, a little bull, right there behind the Phillies dugout. That'll bring up Darnell Sweeney. 0 for 1 tonight. Struck out in his first at bat.
Well, this is what I was looking at the first at bat. If you watch him on lines I'm drawing, he looks like he's getting a little frustrated when he's swinging. And the reason why is because his whole body is attacking the ball. So his head shouldn't go past that line. Look how far his head's going down and past the line. Now, the problem is what happens is you start attacking the ball so hard you want to go get it, you lose all your power off your backside. So he needs to sit there and think about letting the ball get a little deeper and then attack it, because his head is moving 10 to 12 inches, which means the ball is moving as he's going after it.
Well, he hits a ground ball to Rizzo there. It's another nice flip to Hendricks covering for the out at first. Herrera does move up to third base on that, so a productive out, albeit an out for Darnell Sweeney. So that'll bring up Andres Blanco. Let's first check in with Leslie Goodell.
All right, Murph, as promised in the last inning, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Today's photo comes from @ChuckRock47. 3 generations of Phillies fans, father, son, and grandson. It is something that we all love sharing with family and friends. Tweet your strongest fan photo to #PhillyPhoto Data Strong Fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile.
That is a good one. Father, son, grandson, 3 generations of Phillies fans. That's what we like to see. Oh, Andres Blanco's going to lose that bat. Rizzo can't make the play.
He thought about it.
He tried. That is the 3rd time this season I can remember Andres Blanco throwing a bat at least 90 feet. And he has more pine tar on his helmet than anybody.
Well, a swing like this, what's that mean? You have a nice loose grip and a good follow through.
Whitey almost took my head off in the dugout once this year. So 0-1 to Andres Blanco. Ground ball, second base. They're going to thinks about coming home, does Baez, but it thinks better of it. Gets the out at first base, but a run will score. Herrera for the first run of the evening for the Phils. Oh, it's an RBI for Andres Blanco. 4-3 on the putout.
Proper decision, 3-0.
Yeah.
2-0, 1-0. You probably would have saw him come up and fired a home.
A perfect throw would have been needed to get hit Herrera. Herrera broke as soon as that ball was hit, so I think it was the right call all the way around. Jeff Francoeur steps in and he fouls that one back. But you're right. You've got the lead. Getting out.
That's where, as a manager, you're standing there and you see him fielded on the backhand and thinking about coming home, and you just start yelling, no.
One's outside for a ball. Yeah, you can almost see your Joe Madden up here yelling no at that point.
It's almost like when I'm about to hit a golf ball and you yell to me no because you know it's going to be in the woods.
That never happens. Over the outside corner for a strike. It's 1-2. That is the. It's been a while. It's been 11 innings since the Phillies have scored. So nice to see. Maybe kind of kickstart this offense a little bit. Crowd is buzzing a bit. That dugout buzzing as well. Maybe put up a crooked number sooner rather than later. Counts 1-2 to Jeff Francoeur. 2 outs, and he swings at one in the dirt, and that is a strikeout. Tagged by Montero, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. But the Phils do score a run, a leadoff double by Herrera. He's able to cross the plate. It's 3-1 Cubs. Well, you did that at Phillies.com, and you went to the fan section. We asked you which Major League team originally drafted Anthony Rizzo. Matt, after much deliberation.
Well, we had this conversation earlier about Rizzo, and I said about the Padres. He said, no, the Red Sox drafted him to start with, so I will go with the Red Sox.
You have a good memory. It is indeed the Boston Red Sox in the 6th round back in 2007. Yeah, we were talking, that pitch is outside to Dexter Fowler. Want to know, we were talking about the fact that Anthony Rizzo is a cancer survivor, which he battled when he was a young player in the minor leagues, and with Hodgkin's lymphoma, and he's obviously doing just fine now, thankfully. But the Red Sox were there for him when he was going through that situation, and man, what a player he has turned out to be to the Chicago Cubs. That one has popped straight up. Freddie Galvis on the infield calls for it. It looks like, or excuse me, Andres Blanco calls for it, makes the catch. That's the first out of the inning. Looked for a second as if Blanco lost it, but was able to find it again and make the catch.
Well, here he is, the one-man wrecking band coming up right now.
Kyle Schwarber, 2 at-bats, 2 pitches, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. I wouldn't throw him a strike here.
Pitch out.
Send a message.
No, see, he's not thinking you're going to throw a strike, so throwing right down the middle.
Okay. First pitch. It's low and outside for a ball. It's 1-0. For Alec Asher, I mean, obviously, you think about that. You think about the fact that you've been ambushed twice by Schwarber. That was way outside and high for a ball. It's 2-0. That has to be a little bit in his psyche.
You would think.
But you don't want to give. You just don't want to hand him first base. That one's over for a strike. It's 2-1. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Outside for a ball. It's 3-1. Working quickly is Asher. 3-1. Swing and a miss. It's 3-2.
I like how his nickname is Hulk.
He looks like a Hulk. I think that's a pretty good nickname. And here's the 3-2 pitch. Inside for a ball. He walked. So for the third straight time, Schwarber is aboard. Reading Fighting Phillies in action, and that game is final. So game 2 is in the books. Reading leads that series over Binghamton 2-0. Look at Jake Thompson's numbers. 9 innings pitched, allowed just the 3 hits, no runs. He was masterful tonight. A reminder, the Reading Fighting Phils and the Mets in those playoffs. The game's at First Energy Stadium tomorrow. That will be game 3, and then Sunday if necessary, Monday if necessary as well. You can order tickets at Fightins.com and use the code Phillies to receive $3 off any ticket, as that one is lined to left center field and it's off the bottom of the wall. Schwarber's going to come around third and he is going to score, and that is going to be a double for Chris Coghlan. And just like that, the run right back to the Chicago Cubs. They're up 4-1. Just to finish that thought, some of those young guys that folks are talking about, J.P. Crawford, Nick Williams, Andrew Knapp, playing down there for the Reading Fighting Phils. That was a nice swing put on that ball by Coghlan.
It was a two-seam low and away. Coghlan does a nice swing. Big man, the Hulk, scores from first base easily.
The Hulk. You don't want to make him angry. So it's 4-1 Cubs now. 1 out. Top of the 5th. Coghlan's on second, and in steps Anthony Rizzo. He's 0 for 1. He walked in his first at bat, popped up to shortstop. And he swings at the first pitch off the front of the Phillies dugout. Strike 1. Just to get back to the Reading Fighting Phils, though, that's fun to watch. And these guys, you know, the organization wanted to keep these guys together once they made the postseason. They didn't want to call any of those guys up because they wanted them to learn to win together. Learn what that's all about. And they're doing just that. First 2 games on the road in Binghamton, they get them both. So that one is popped up. Shallow left field. Francoeur under it and makes the catch for the second out. Nick Williams also had a home run in that game. He was 2 for 5. Reading's 3-0 win. So 2 outs, and that'll bring up Chris Bryant. He's flown out twice, once to left, or excuse me, once to right, once to center. Asher has his sign from the stretch. Out straight back. Coghlan gets his leadoff of second. That one is drilled deep to center field. Herrera gone back. Turns and watches that one hit the brick wall straight away center field. A 2-run shot from Chris Bryant. And the Cubs have broken this one open. It's 6-1 now in the top of the 5th. Wow. Matt, that one was long and that one was loud.
It was. And I talked earlier about Bryant being a very good low ball hitter. This is a slider, bottom of the strike zone, and absolutely crushed. Look where this ball lands.
Halfway up the batter's eye. So Miguel Montero steps in now. 2 outs, nobody on. And the lead is now 5 for the Cubs. 3rd home run surrendered by Asher. He's hit some long ones this year. That one is back through the middle for a base hit for Montero, so another base runner for the Cubs. It's the 24th home run of the season for Bryant, by the way.
You know, and now getting back to Bryant's home run, you can tell how strong he is and how good his bat speed is because his back leg almost moves like a Frank Thomas. He's not one of the type of guys that hits and rotates on his backside. He relies on his upper body strength and the power going through the ball.
Well, Bob McClure wants to have a word with his young pitcher as we take another look at that.
See how his foot kind of goes backwards and elevates just a little bit?
Yeah.
Majority of the people that have power sit and rotate, and it's like a spinning action after point of contact where he explodes, and once that foot lifts up, that's where he generates his power from.
Bob McClure is chatting with Alec Asher and Cameron Rupp. Meanwhile, Justin DeFreitas has started to warm up in the Phillies bullpen. Lance Barksdale is going to go out and try to speed things up. There's DeFreitas. Rod Nichols keeping an eye on him. So, message delivered with 2 outs. 3 runs across here in the top of the 5th. Javier Baez will step in, 0 for 2 in game 2. Had a couple hits in the first game here, doubleheader. Batting .323, 1 home run, 3 RBIs. Since being called up for the Cubs, that one's outside and low for a ball. It's 1-0. Asher checks the runner. 1-0 pitch, line back up the middle, off the bag, and Darnell Sweeney able to make a nice play, pull it in, step on second for the final out of the inning. Looked like maybe it had some eyes, was going to find center field, but not to be. This one found center field and then some. Deep, Chris Bryant, number 24 on the year, with 6-1 Cubs.
Association, a relief organization
that is Sergeant Greg Massey down on the field earlier as we remember those first responders September 11th. And Sergeant Massey from the Philadelphia Police Department is with our Leslie Goodell. Leslie?
It's a day we'll never forget, but for those who were on the scene, it's a day that they relive constantly. And Sergeant Massey, I'm sure that not a day goes by that you don't think about the time that you were in New York. You went up the day after 9/11 to assist. What do you remember? Take us back to that day.
I think the thing I really remember when we got to New York that morning, it was about 5 a.m. And think about the hustle and bustle of the city. There was nobody on the street, no cars. The tunnels were closed. The police were waiting for us from Philadelphia. The contingent, we went up. And then when we got to Ground Zero, about 3 blocks before we got there, all of a sudden we just seen hundreds of people just lining the streets, approaching us in our car with photographs of loved ones that were missing, hoping we could maybe find someone. That was the most frustrating piece. That we were up there for one goal, to assist any way we could, but that was really something I'll never forget, the thousands of people that lined that area looking for their loved ones and showing us their photographs.
I've heard many people say that for those of us who watched it on TV, even just a couple hours south of there, that you can't even imagine what it was like there compared to what we saw on television.
And I've said that before. I goes, you know, the media really showed exactly what occurred. But to be there in person and just the sights, the sounds, and even the smells, something that lasted with me. When I came back home, it took me a few days to get my composure back, because I seen things that I never thought you would never see on TV again because of what I saw. It was just very, very sad moment for the whole country. I'm
sure it's created a bond with your fellow first responders as well as the survivors. Is there anybody that stands out that had a huge impact on you?
I think what really, when I went up to New York, I met a lot of friends from NYPD and FDNY. A couple I still correspond with today. They're actually retired. Some are suffering some medical ailments because of the toxins, the asbestos issues, and that's the sad part. Even ourselves, the Philadelphia contingent, we still get tested for asbestos because we were up there, but we're there for a short period of time, but they still want to make sure that we're okay. But that's the frustrating part. There's still people being, even though so many people were killed, there are people being affected right now by being on Ground Zero for so long.
Well, of course, I remember that first game and when Major League Baseball came back and it was trying to get back to some semblance of normalcy. This year they are honoring 9/11. Every cap in Major League Baseball has the American flag on the side. Every year they do something. I'd like you to have this cap, and as a remembrance of today, and I'm sure that you know, for you it's many days, but today's a day to honor you and the rest of you that were up there. So thank you for your service and all you've done.
I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be here tonight, but also shout out to so many other thousands of workers. I wish they could be with me tonight because there were so many people involved in this rescue effort for months and months, and I salute all of them.
All right, a 38-year veteran of the Philadelphia Police Department. 2 more years, he says. He's going to get 2 more years in there, Murph.
Well, Leslie, thank you for that, and Sergeant Massey, thank you for, well, everything you and the men and women in uniform and the Philadelphia Police and Fire, well, right across the country, do each and every day to keep us all safe. And yeah, those dates will, those days, 9/11 and those days right afterwards, will never be forgotten by any of us that saw it on television or were part of it. You know, I was one of the first reporters on the scene in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, Flight 93, where that went down, and a couple hours after it had crashed into that hillside. A nice play right there by Hendricks. Rob Cameron Rupp with a base hit. And like Sergeant Massey said, the sights and the sounds and the smells are something you'll never forget. It's very powerful indeed. Thank you, Sergeant Massey. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Ryan Howard flew out. Ground ball right there by Cameron Rupp. That'll bring up Brian Bogusevic. Lined out, center field, his first at bat. Takes that one low and outside for a ball. Swing and a miss. It's 1-1. Hendricks has done a very nice job keeping the Phillies hitters off balance, Matt, which is what the scouting report said coming in, and that one is on the inside corner. It's 1-2. Ryan asking Lance Barksdale, "You sure? Got that?" I'm sure. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's low. 2-2. Let's take a look at our Toyota Major League scoreboard. Rangers 3-0 over the Athletics right now, bottom of the 7th. But take a look at the note. Colby Lewis perfect through 7 for the A's. Excuse me, for the Rangers. It's hard to be perfect and give up 3, right? So we'll keep our eye on that. It's another possible perfect game / no-hitter in progress in Major League Baseball. Count is 3-2 to Brian Bogusevic, and that's high and outside for a ball, and he walked him. So Bogusevic gets a 2-out base runner here in the bottom of the 5th, and I'll bring up Cody Ashe. So Cody Ashe grounded out in his first at bat. You see Joe Madden wearing the hat that Leslie was talking about with the American flag on the side. Every Major League Baseball team wearing that hat today. As Ashe takes that one outside for a ball, it's 1-0. That was a line shot down the right field line. Fair ball. It's going to go all the way back to the corner. Bogusevic is touching third, and he's going to be waved home. Here comes the throw. It's going to be cut off by Rizzo, and that's an RBI double for Cody Ashe. Bogusevic got a great jump, read that one well, and never stopped, scoring all the way from first base on that double. Nice base running. Nice piece of hitting by Cody Ashe as well.
It is. Nice swing. I like to see him use that top hand, which he did. You said Bogusevic got a very nice jump at first base. Nice job driving the ball down the right field corner. Picking him up, putting him down, expecting to score. Scores very easy with no throw.
Able to get that big jump because there's 2 outs, of course. What's going on contact? Well, Alec Asher's night is done because Eric Kratz has just been introduced as a pinch hitter for Asher. Pete McCannon hoping to push another one across, at least one more. Try to cut into this lead. It's a 4-run lead right now for Chicago. It's 6-2. Basic cut that. Make it 6-3. And you see Justin DeFreitas warming up. Kenny Roberts also. So Eric Kratz will step in. He's 2 for 6 since returning to the Phillies. A couple of RBIs as well. First pitch to Kratz. Ball 1-0. Here's Ashe leading off second with 2 outs. 1 run across here in the bottom of the 5th. Phillies looking for more. And that is over for a strike, and it's 1-1 to Eric Kratz. Kratzy, of course, in his second go around with the Phils, and he grounds that one to second base. Baez going to charge it, throws over to first for the 3rd out of the inning. But Phils do get a run on the RBI double by Cody Ashe. There is Sergeant Massey as we continue to remember the folks here on September 11th, showing off his brand new hat.
presenting a bright future for the Phils rotation. Each time Aaron takes the mound is a clear indication on why so many thought he was ready for the major leagues a year after being the 7th overall pick. Tuesday night, he dazzled again, locating his fastball with precision and keeping the Braves hitters off balance all game long. 7 strikeouts, 7 shutout innings, and his 6th win of the season was just the latest NOLA performance. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless.
We head to the top of the 6th here in Philadelphia. Cubs over the Phillies 6-2. The Cubs won the first game here tonight at Citizens Bank Park and have a 4-run lead in the second. Justin DeFreitas is the new pitcher for the Phillies. 57th appearance for DeFreitas. And he's facing Hendricks. Takes that one inside and high for a ball. Justin already has pitched 71 1/3 innings. That's tops in innings pitched for all relief pitchers in the National League. Gets a ground ball to second. Tough play right there by Sweeney, and the throw pulls Ryan Howard off the bag. So safe at first is Kyle Hendricks. We'll see how they score that. That was going to be a tough play all the way around, but they're going to call it an error on Darnell Sweeney. So Hendricks is aboard.
Yeah, I think he had more time than he thought if he could have planted himself and throw.
Yeah, you see, he doesn't really get it in that glove. Probably doesn't get a, well, looks like he had a pretty good grip on it.
Yeah, he had a grip on it. It's kind of a nonchalant throw.
So Hendricks is aboard, and that'll bring up Addison Russell. Russell flew out to right and struck out swinging in his 2 at-bats in the second game. And you don't want to give one back after getting one in the bottom of the 5th, that's for sure. You see Hendricks leading off first. I doubt he's going anywhere, and that one is fouled back. Here's the 0-2 pitch inside for a ball. Nice stop by Cameron Rupp. And a check in on that perfect game, and it is, well, it's all over. Base hit by Danny Valencia, a double, ends the perfect game. The Rangers still have the lead 4-0 now in that one. Just the 1 hit for the A's. It's 2-2 to Addison Russell. DeFreitas. Swing and a miss, and he got him. Strikeout for Justin DeFreitas, first out of the inning. And that'll bring up Dexter Fowler. Well, Think Energy, the smart choice to power your home. Go to mythinkenergy.com/Phillies. Fowler doubled in the second. He's popped out to the shortstop 2 times as well, 1 for 3. Pitcher Hendricks leads off first. First pitch to Fowler is outside for a ball. It's 1-0. And outside, ball 2. It's been a while since we've seen Justin DeFreitas. Last saw Justin August the 30th.
It's the Padres.
Yeah, that's been a while. I didn't even realize that. Oh. He's fresh, that's for sure.
I've seen a stat on him the other day that he leads the National League relievers in pitches thrown.
Pitches thrown as well, yeah. Innings, pitches thrown. And that one is drilled to center field. Herrera going back. It looks like he's going to have some room at the edge of the warning track. He does, pulls it in. Hendricks retreats back to first base. That's the second out. just a little bit off the hands there, I think. Couldn't get those hands extended. Barrera goes back and makes the catch. And out comes Pete McCannon. Is that McCannon? Yeah, it is. And he's going to take the baseball from Justin DeFreitas, so we're going to have a pitching change. Justin DeFreitas allows the one base runner, but gets 2 outs here in the 6th. So get you caught up when we come back right after this. Anything is possible. January 20th through the 24th, 2016 in beautiful Clearwater, Florida. Join a lineup of Phillies legends like Mike Schmidt, John Kruk, Greg Luzinski, Milt Thompson, Matt Stairs, and so many more for coaching, camaraderie, and baseball like you have never played it before. Create memories that last a lifetime. Book now at PhilliesFantasyCamp.com. I know you already made your reservations, Matt. Hello, ladies. So with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th, Kenny Roberts is the new pitcher for the Phils. His first pitch is over for a strike. Roberts, of course, made his Phillies debut a few days ago versus the Atlanta Braves. Went 1 1/3 innings, allowed 3 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, and a walk. One's fouled off the wall. Was originally drafted by Colorado in the 25th round back in 2010. He's facing Kyle Schwarber, who's done a little bit of everything tonight. And that one's a little bit low, so it's 1-2 now to Schwarber. Of course, he has 2 home runs. Also made a really nice play out in left field to rob Ryan Howard of a hit. Scored a run after walking. And that one is punched into right center field. Odubel Herrera is going to be over and makes the catch for the 3rd out. So Kenny Roberts comes in and gets the job done. Gets Schwarber to fly out to right center field. The Cubs, though, still with a 4-run lead. It's 6-2 here in Philly. provider of the Philadelphia Phillies, and by the Quality Plus Ford stores. Go further. Bottom of the 6th, Cubs 6, Phillies 2. Phillies managing just 2 hits off of Cubs starter Kyle Hendricks tonight. He's kept the Phillies offense off balance all night long. Top of the order for the Phillies, Odubel Herrera, Darnell Sweeney, Andres Blanco. 1, 2, 3 will get their crack. Herrera's been on base 2 times tonight. He walked in the first inning, and then he doubled and scored in the 4th. Got his average back up to 299.
And Murph, I agree with you. Hendricks has kept the hitters off balance. What I've noticed tonight is that he's pitched in very well to left-handers with that front door sinker. He's worked the outside corner with the sinker. Haven't seen many breaking balls, but he's been using the changeup, as we've heard. It's been very good. And that's what's keeping the hitters off balance tonight.
Well, he's got the ball in his hands to start the bottom of the 6th inning. Herrera has one of those 2 hits, steps in and swings and hits that one to right field. Going back on it is Coughlin, and makes the catch. 1 down. Don't forget, you can get your 2016 season tickets, well, pretty soon. Full and partial ticket plans are now available. Get some guaranteed locations of where you'd like to sit. Special season ticket holder only benefits. Deposits are now being accepted for new season tickets. Call 215-463-5000 or visit Phillies.com for more information. Never too early to get your season tickets, man. That one is high and away to Darnell Sweeney. 1 down here in the 6th. That's over for a strike. It's 1-1. Foul ball, 1-2. Well, Hendricks doesn't waste any time, that's for sure, does he?
No, he doesn't. He gets the ball, he gets the sign, he throws it.
He's ahead of Sweeney, 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on. It's going to find the seats. So the count will remain 1-2.
And I mentioned earlier about Sweeney, the way he's approaching the hitter, the way he's going after the ball. Also, what it does is when you attack the ball so quick, your barrel goes in the zone and out of the zone so quick that any pitch that's away, you either do that, you foul it off, or you hit it off the end of the bat. Mm-hmm. That's why it's so important to use that backside as long as you can. It'll keep the barrel through the zone as long as possible.
75th pitch of the night is fouled back. That was a little bit better of a swing by Sweeney. And swing and a miss, and he got him. So the second out here in the 6th inning is a strikeout. Take a look at some of the highlights of the 2016 schedule as we can kind of remind you about those season tickets. Opening day 2016, April 4th at Cincinnati. We'll be here before we know it, Matt. And the home opener April 11th versus San Diego. Interleague play. Folks always excited to see that. We'll be on the road in Detroit, Minnesota, Cleveland, Toronto. Welcome some of those teams also here to Citizens Bank Park. That spring training schedule should be out pretty soon as well, so keep your eyes open for that. Andres Blanco steps in, line shot, and a nice catch by Addison Russell. Going hard to his right, makes the catch, and a relatively easy inning for Kyle Hendricks. We're remembering those in uniform tonight. Time now for your Delaware Valley Honda Dealers game summary. 6-2, 7 hits for the Cubs, just 2 hits for the Phillies, and the 1 error. Kyle Schwarber, 2 big blasts, counting for 3 runs. Kyle Hendricks has been very good tonight. 6 innings pitched, allowed just those 2 hits. Odubel Herrera did score a run earlier tonight. That's where we stand. It's 6-2 as the Phillies trail the Cubs by 4. Top of the 7th. Chris Coghlan is in the box. And he takes that pitch. It's 2-0 to Chris Coghlan. Inside. Coghlan has to back away. It's 3-0 now to Chris Coghlan. Kenny Robinson in the 2nd inning of relief for the Phillies. There's the 3-0 pitch. That's over for a strike. It's 3-1. Strike 2. 3-2 now. As Kenny Roberts battles back. The count is full to Chris Coghlan. Swing and a miss, and he got him. So Roberts gets a strikeout of Coghlan after going down 3-0. Nice job by him. That's the first out of the inning here in the top of the 7th. That'll bring up Anthony Rizzo. Rizzo's 0 for 2. He walked back in the 1st inning with a couple of flyouts. Roberts working quickly. The left-hander finds and delivers. That's a line drive into right center field, and that's going to hit off the glove of Brian Bogusevic. Herrera picks it up, but it's going to be an easy doubles. Anthony Rizzo cruises in, stops at 2nd. I think it was going to be a double regardless. Bogusevic had it hit off his glove, but it's a 1-out double for Anthony Rizzo. Take another look.
It looked like he was sitting all over the first pitch curveball. Thought right here Bogusevic might have had an opportunity to turn and throw, but he kind of just kicks it off his glove into Herrera's glove.
So that'll bring Pete Mackanin out to have a conversation with Lance Barksdale. Looks like he's going to make a double switch. So Cesar Hernandez is checking into the game, and Darnell Sweeney's going to sit down. We'll have a pitching change. We'll be right back. Preview the key Week 1 matchups around the NFL, including the Eagles season opener against the Falcons. Plus, hear from Eagles quarterback Sam Bradford and Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan. Catch Quick Slants, presented by Nissan, tomorrow afternoon at 12:30, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Eric Gunn, Reuben Frank, beginning of their busy season as the Eagles get set to go. I guess they've been working pretty hard over the last couple of weeks with training camp, preseason games, but it all starts for real this weekend. Eagles playing on Monday night. I, for one, am looking forward to it. So one out here at the top of the 7th. Runner on second is Anthony Rizzo. The new pitcher for the Phillies is Dalier Hinojosa. He takes over for Kenny Roberts. First pitch from Hinojosa is line outside for a ball. Chris Bryant, who homered his last at bat, and it was a long one, straight off the batter's eye and straight away center field, is at the plate. Hinojosa from the stretch. And it's outside for a ball as well. Fastball at 94. He could throw hard for sure. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Foul back. It's 2-1. Pitch fouled straight back. It's 2-2 now to Chris Bryant. The Phillies have a slight defensive shift on for Chris Bryant as Cesar Hernandez, who has just checked into the game to play second base, is on the shortstop side of the bag as the second baseman. You see Ryan Howard way off the bag over there at first. Here's the 2-2 pitch. It's outside for a ball. It's 3-2.
And the outfielders play him straight up because of his power everywhere he can go. Left field, center, right field. You see more and more shifts in baseball nowadays with the second baseman being on the short side, the shortstop side. Unheard of a few years ago.
Yeah. You saw it with left-handers, but now you're seeing it more and more with the righties. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and that is lined into right center field. That's a base hit. Rizzo's going to be waved around. He will score. The throw comes into second. And it's an RBI single for Chris Bryant. Now, shift or no shift, that was a base hit any way you cut it. That'll bring up Miguel Montero.
That's a nice swing. Ball tailed back, middle of the plate and down. With the head down, good balance, good follow through, and an absolute missile to right center. For his third RBI of the game.
So Hinojosa now to face Montero. It's 1 for 2. Runner up, sets up on the outside corner. A little off the plate. It's 1-0. Hinojosa, a native of Cuba, was able to establish residency in Haiti and then was able to sign with the Red Sox. Phil's claimed him off of waivers from Boston. Got some good stuff we've talked about. Chases back Bryant first. Numbers on Ken Roberts: 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned run, and a strikeout as well for him, for the left-hander. Hinojosa has his sign. Pitch. A little low. It's 2-0. She's hanging in there. As we approach 10:30. Quick throw over to first. Bryant's back. The 2-0 pitch. That's fouled back. It's 2-1. From the stretch, 2-1 pitch on the outside corner. It's 2-2. The out-of-town Toyota Major League scoreboard. The Mets they keep on keeping on. 5-1 in the top of the ninth over the Braves. Oh, Cespedes, another 2-run home run.
Shocker.
Oh, about the tear he is on. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and that is poked out in the left field. That's going to be a base hit. Bryant's going to stop at second. Montero safe at first. 2 runners on with 1 out. They're in the top of the 7th. Well, these lucky fans are today's Citizens 7. They'll each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Good banking is simple, clear, and personal. And that's helping you bank better. Citizens Bank. So 2 on, 1 out. Top of the 7th. Javier Baez 0 for 3. 1 run already across here in the top of the 7th. Pitch to Baez, swung on first pitch, lifts it out to right field. Bogusevic is there. He makes the catch, and it's 2 away. And very similar to game number 1, bottom of the 7th, a couple guys on. Joe Maddon going to stick with his pitcher.
Yep.
And he's going to let Kyle Hendricks bat here. So Hendricks will dig in from the right side and face Dalier Hinosa. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. First pitch is high and outside for a ball. It's 1-0. Hendricks was safe on an error by Darnell Sweeney his last at bat. Pitch, swing and a miss. It's 1-1. Swings through that. It's 1-2 now. It's Kyle Hendricks. Hinojosa has his sign. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and he got him. So the Cubs will strand 2 in that inning. Well, they do push 1 run across to increase their lead. It's 7-2 now as we head to the bottom of the 7th. And we're going to keep it right here on this very special anniversary of September 11th.
All of the
representing the United States Air Force Heritage Brass.
Civilian professionals
Singing of God Bless America.
In the United States Air
Stay
Force
right here as Dan
across
Baker,
the globe,
Bank
and honoring all
Ballpark's
of our
public address
nation's
announcer
brave and
introduces
dedicated first responders. Please welcome the United States Heritage Brass with this special musical tribute, God Bless America.
Well, headed into extra innings and need a boost. Mason and order Green Mountain Coffee K-Cup Pods. Great tasting coffee at amazing low prices, delivered free the very same day when you order by 11:30. WB Mason knocks it out of the park. Who but WB Mason? Bottom of the 7th, Phils trail it by 5. Still just 2 hits for the Phillies in Game 2. This twilight doubleheader. Jeff Francoeur will lead it off for the Phils. It'll be Francoeur, Ryan Howard, Cameron Rupp facing Kyle Hendricks. First pitch to Francoeur is outside for a ball. Base runners, Matt. Base runners.
Hits, walks. Hit by a pitch.
I'll take a catcher's interference.
Which used to be a hit.
Should be a hit.
It's E2.
On his bounce to third. Up with it is Bryant across to Anthony Rizzo for the first out. So 1 down here in the bottom of the 7th. Bring up Ryan Howard. See Chris Bryant making that play at third. We talked a little bit about that earlier today. Played mostly third base when he was brought up, but now Joe Madden is kind of bouncing him back and forth between third base and left field. It'll be interesting to see if and when they get to the postseason. Look at that. It is drilled to right center field. Going back on it is Dexter Fowler, and it's off the top of the wall. So Ryan Howard is going to cruise in for a double, and finally, that streak is over. Ryan Howard is 0 for streak, which was in the mid-30s. 0 for 36 is now over. So he's now 1 for his last 36 officially.
Technically, he's 1 for his last 1.
That's right. And that's good to see. He's hit some balls hard. That one finally found some real estate off the. So one hopped off the wall there. So a double for Ryan Howard. Base runners we asked for. Base runners we've got. That'll bring up Cameron Rupp. Rupp, his first pitch swinging. He fouls that one back.
That was Hendricks' 83rd pitch.
Once again, very efficient by the starting pitcher for the Chicago Cubs. Similar story to Jake Arrieta in game number 1. Howard gets his lead off second. And that one is off the plate. It's 1-1. Cameron Rupp 0 for 2. Flew out to right, grounded out. Back to Hendricks. And misses the plate as well. It's 2-1. Phil's get a couple base runners, a couple timely hits. It's only a 5-run lead. It's not a margin that is too big to make up as Cameron swings through that one. It's 2-2. But they need to string a couple together. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and got him. So Cameron Rupp's the strikeout victim. And that's the second out of the inning. Well, the most popular way to follow the action of Phillies baseball is with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay reviews, scores, StatCasts, live radio broadcasts, and more. Get the MLB.com at bat app right now. Brian Bogusevic will step in with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Ryan Howard down there at second base. First pitch to Bogusevic. It's a ball. It's ball 1. Bogusevic walked and scored his last at bat. He's 0 for 1 on the night. That one's a line shot back through the middle. That's a base hit. Ryan Howard is being waved home. There'll be no throw to the plate. It'll come into second. So the Phils had another run. It's 7-3 now. RBI single for Brian Bogusevic. A little
little surprised that Fowler didn't come up throwing on that.
Yeah, and we saw that in Chicago as well. Some balls that were hit up there, we thought he had an opportunity to throw some people out. Must have decided he wanted to go to second base. But what I like about it is an off-speed pitch, and he stayed through the middle. I had an opportunity to ball to center field. Dexter Fowler said, no, I'm going to save my arm for the next one.
Well, Joe Madden has seen enough from his starter, who did a nice job tonight, did Kyle Hendricks, but he's going to make a change at this point. So a pitching change here in the bottom of the 7th at Citizens Bank Park. We'll be back right after this. 3 games, all of them at 7:05. Nationals having their share of issues. They lost to Miami tonight, 2-1 down there in Miami. 3 games against the Phillies here at Citizens Bank Park. You can order your tickets now at Phillies.com. So there's Kyle Hendricks getting some congratulations on his bench. He was good tonight, but he leaves the game with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Then he gives way to Pedro Strop. In his 67th game, he's 2-6, 3.22 ERA. First pitch to Cody Ashe is low for a ball. It's 1-0. Stroke from the Dominican Republic. Grew up. That's where he lives now. 30-year-old right-hander. Snap throw back to first, and back is Bogusevic.
Pedro Strop, the scouting report on him is a 3-pitch pitcher, fastball 94-97, split finger, which is hard at 86-89. He also throws slider, which you just saw, 81-84.
Came over from Baltimore back in 2013, so in his 2nd full season with the Cubs. 2-0 pitch to Cody Ashe is high. For a ball, it's 3-0, 96, but out of the zone. Saw Montero behind the plate saying, "Calm down, take a breather." Bogusevic takes his lead off first. 3-0 pitch is over for a strike. It's 3-1. Ashe doubled his last at bat, batting .246. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Swung on, popped up. Not deep. Coming in is Schwarber, and he makes the catch in left center field. And that'll do it. 3 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Phillies push one across. It's 7-3. top of the 8th. And Phil's looking to keep it right here. Maybe do some more damage offensively in the bottom half of the inning. Dalier Hinojosa remains in the game pitching for the Phils. First pitch to Addison Russell. A little high for a ball. It's 1-0. Russell struck out his last 2 at bats, 0 for 3 in this second game with the doubleheader. That one's over for a strike. It's 1-1. Kyle Hendricks went 6 2/3 tonight, allowed just the 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts through just 90 pitches. He was efficient in his outing tonight. Fouls that one straight back. You can win the game, you can't lose it at this point. Hinojosa ahead 1-2. That one's in the dirt. It's 2-2. It'll be Russell, then Dexter Fowler, and Kyle Schwarber. Swing and a miss, and he got it. Let's put that camera up to keep that one in front of him. Make the quick tag. So with 1 out, that'll bring up Dexter Fowler. But first, Leslie Goodell with the Major League Notebook.
Our Major League Notebook brought to you by St. Joseph's University. And Yankees first baseman Mark Teixeira is done for the season. What was originally thought to be a bone bruise is actually a fracture in his right leg. He fouled a ball off his leg during a game against the Twins on August 17th. Tried to play through it. An MRI revealed the fracture. He will not suit up with the team the rest of the season. He is expected, though, to return in 2016. And A.J. Burnett returned last night to the Pirates rotation after missing 6 weeks with an elbow strain. That means they have 6 starters, but they are only going to go with a 5-man rotation, according to manager Clint Hurdle. He will not say who the odd man out yet is because he has not told him. But if you look at that rotation, there's speculation that Jeff Lockmurph is probably the odd man out because you've got Charlie Morton, Garrett Cole, Jay Happ, Francisco Lariano. It's a good problem to have.
It is a good problem to have, especially when you're looking towards the postseason. I'm sure Clint Hurdle will figure that out. Thank you, Leslie, as that one's lifted out in the left field. Jeff Francoeur in front of the warning track squeezes it for the second out of the inning. How about that loss for the New York Yankees? Mark Teixeira, as they look towards the postseason, that is a huge hole in the middle of their lineup. Well, Pete Mackanin is headed out. He's going to take the baseball from Dalier Hinojosa, so his night is done. Adam Lowen making his way in for the bullpen. So it's another pitching change here at Citizens Bank Park. We'll be back right after this.
It's the Hulk in left field. Schwarber First at bat, first pitch, elevated fastball, crushes one straight over center. Way out of here. Then the second at bat, second pitch he's seen tonight, slider, a little slider down the middle, crushes that one to left center. Pretty good first two at bats and a doubleheader, going 2 for 2 with 3 RBIs, and that's your W.B. Mason deliveries of the game.
Yeah, he does not look like a guy coming off of a rib cage injury, which sidelined him for a little bit, but he is indeed. Some hijinks up on Fanavision as the kiss cam makes its way around Citizens Bank Park. Well, Adam Lowen is the new pitcher for the Phillies with 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. Appearing in his 12th game now for the Phils, an ERA of 8.76. He will face Kyle Schwarber, who swings at the first pitch and fouls it in and out of the glove of Cameron Rupp. Hinojosa, 1 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts for him. Two for 3 is Kyle Schwarber in this one. One's inside for a ball. It's 1-1. Looks a little bit like Joe Bland, doesn't it?
A little bit, yes.
Inside for a ball. It's 2-1.
Nice call, Murph.
I don't know if it's, I guess it's the tuft of hair on the chin and
the home run swing.
Yeah, well, yeah. We all remember that. From the belt, 2-1 pitch. That's high and inside for a ball. It's 3-1. Here's the 3-1 pitch and swung on and popped up, not deep. Bogusevic is there in right field, and he'll make the catch for the 3rd out. So Adam Lowen comes in and does the job he was asked to do. As we head to the bottom of the 8th, the Phils still trail it by 4. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop Nissan.com. And by McDonald's. Double the lovin' at McDonald's with a double cheeseburger and small fry for just $2.50. McDonald's. I'm loving it. Bottom of the 8th, Cubs with the 4-run lead, 7-3. Travis Wood is the new pitcher for Chicago Cubs. Denorfia now is the new left fielder as he checks in. Kyle Schwarber's night is done. There you see the numbers on Travis Wood. Appearing in his 45th game, 5-4 with an ERA of 4.40. Left-hander. Face Cesar Hernandez. will be making his first appearance in game number 2. Part of a double switch. And before that, it's time for our defensive play of the game.
It's all about Schwarber in left field, hitting home runs and making a very nice play here against Ryan Howard, going back, timing the leap there nice, making a very nice catch to rob Ryan Howard. That is your Hyundai defensive play of the game, brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
All right, yeah, Schwarber's done it all, we told you, but his night is done. First pitch from Wood to Cesar Hernandez is outside for a ball, so it's 1-0 to Cesar Hernandez, part of the double switch. At an inning ago, he fouls that one off. It's 1-1.
Travis Wood, pretty much the kitchen sink. Fastball, curveball, cut fastball, slider, change.
And he gets Hernandez swinging through that one. It's 1-2. That was a 92-mile-per-hour fastball.
That's what he usually tops out at right there.
So it'll be Hernandez, then Herrera. And then a pinch hitter for Adam Lowen. High and outside for a ball. It's 2-2. Travis Wood wants Montero to go through the signs one more time. I guess when you have the kitchen sink, it takes a little while to get on the same page. 2-2 pitch. Fouled back. It remains 2-2. Miguel Montero taking that one off the mask. Did you ever catch?
No.
Smart man.
Yes, sir.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fouled back off the front of the Cubs dugout.
I actually think catching one game and having that power of calling every pitch would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool.
If I could have a seat out there and sit down while I'm doing it, it would be even better.
You don't want to squat for 9 innings?
5 knee operations, I don't think so.
2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Hernandez goes down swinging. First strikeout for Travis Wood. And that's one down here in the bottom of the 8th. Yeah, you know what? I marvel at that. The ability for someone to stay in a crouch like that. I'll tip my cap to Ben Davis, I guess. He did it for many, many, many years.
And a lot of catchers have the knee savers.
Yeah.
Which is the foam that's in between behind the knee, so when you squat, you're not going down putting all that pressure on the cartilage.
High and inside to Herrera. He's got a glimpse of Carlos Ruiz in the dugout. He's been doing it for years and years and years as well. Yeah, I don't think even the knee savers would help me. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's out of the zone. It's 2-0.
But to have that chance of just calling a game would be pretty sweet. Now, I've called them from the bench before.
When you were,
I've had some, like Paul Bacco. He used to let me give him signs of what I wanted to be thrown, and he would throw down the sign, which was cool.
How'd you make out?
Good.
Yeah. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. It's 2-2. Aaron Altair has moved into the on-deck circle. So Wood has his sign. And here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and held on to by Montero. It's a strikeout for Travis Wood. So 2 up and 2 strikeouts for Travis Wood. A reminder on Sunday at 1:35, this Cubbies still in town, and it's the Phillies Fanatics one-man band DVD, compliments of New Jersey Education Association, free to fans 14 and under here at the ballpark. Cubs are here for this 4-game weekend series, Friday through Sunday. Might as well come out and enjoy some baseball. You can order your tickets at Phillies.com. They showed a little preview of that Fanatic DVD up there on Fanavision tonight. Very exciting. Altair pops that one up, and off with the mask is Montero, and well, that was a pretty easy inning for Travis Wood. 2 strikeouts and a pop out to the catcher. 1, 2, 3 go the Phils in the bottom of the 8th. We'll head to the top of the 9th. They trail by 4. Final game of the season, of course, Fan Appreciation Day. A 2016 Phillies scheduled magnet, free to all fans. Traditional celebration with prizes and surprises all over the ballpark. You're going to want to be here for that. You can order your tickets now at Phillies.com. Well, new pitcher for the Phillies is Nefi Ogando, right-hander. Finishing up his warm-up pitches. Takes over for Adam Lowen. Here in the top of the 9th, the Phils trailing by 4. There you see his numbers on Wednesday, his major league debut. 1 inning pitch, 2 runs scored, 3 hits, no walks and a strikeout versus the Braves. Came up from the Lehigh Valley the day before that. He was up one other time, but he didn't get a chance to pitch. So
that's a good arm.
Yeah.
Just a matter now of spotting that 95, 96 mile an hour heater.
Well, he's going to face the heart of the Cubs order. Chris Coghlan step in first. First pitch to him is over for a strike. 95 miles an hour. A little outside and low for a ball. It's 1-1. He has his sign from Cameron Rupp, who sets up low over the plate. And that one's up in the zone. Coghlan thought it was a little closer and apparently caught part of the plate, so it makes it 1-2. Well, every time the Phillies retire, the opposing team 1-2-3. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Coghlan. He fouls that one off. Deep into the seats. It's 1-2 now to Chris Coghlan. 7 runs, 10 hits, no errors for the Cubs. 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for the Phillies. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And that one's popped up. Left field. Easy play for Jeff Francoeur, and he makes it first out of the inning here in the top of the 9th. Well, we told you about the Reading Phillies earlier getting their win in postseason action. How about the Williamsport Crosscutters in the New York Penn League playoffs? They won tonight, game 2, 3-1. So that ties up their series against West Virginia, all tied up at 1. Austin Bosart with a 2-run home run in that one. So congratulations to the Crosscutters tonight and a postseason victory. And did they jump out to a fast start this year, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
They'll play their next game tomorrow at 2 o'clock as that one goes off the glove of Ryan Howard. Does he have time to flip to Ogando? He does, so he stays with it. Nice play by Ryan Howard to not panic and get that over to Ogando for the second out. So 2 up, 2 down. Take another look.
Ball's hit pretty sharp. Ryan comes over, hits him in the heel of the glove, but he takes a peek, realizing he has a slower runner by Rizzo going down the line, and takes his time and does a good flip.
3-1 on the putout. So 2 outs. And Chris Bryant will step back in. A pair of hits for Bryant, including that long home run back in the 5th. 90 RBIs on the season for the Cubs rookie. That one's high and inside for a ball. It's 1-0. He came with a whole lot of hype, and he has lived up to every bit of it.
Yes, he has.
1-0 pitch. Ball outside, so it's 2-0 now for Ogando.
He had like 15 home runs in spring training.
Yeah, something like that.
Something crazy.
And yet didn't make the team out of spring training, which is more of a contractual thing than anything else. Swing and a miss. It's 2-1. But was called up about a couple weeks into the season.
15 days later.
Yeah, 15 days into the season, and has been with the Cubs ever since. So 90 RBIs after missing 2 weeks of the season as well. There's Joe Madden. It's a 2-1 pitch, outside and low. It's 3-1. You know, another one of their young stars on the Cubs we're not going to see in this series. Jorge Soler, who is injured. He's got a ribcage injury as well. The big question is whether or not he'll be ready for the postseason, or if he'll even be on the postseason roster at this point, because he hasn't been able to get any swings in over the past couple of weeks. So Joe Madden was asked about that today, and he said, look, you know, he's going to have to get his share of at-bats before we can make a decision whether or not he can be on the postseason roster. So the rain last night kind of postponed their plans to give him the workout. We might get that as early as tomorrow. Kobayashi cuts in front of Blanco and makes the throw across the diamond, but Ryan Howard can't hold on to it. I think that's going to end up being an error on Ryan Howard as that popped in and out of his glove. We'll see how they score it. Either way, Chris Bryant is safe at first. Square that base hit. Take another look. Yeah,
that's a good call.
Yeah, he would have beaten it anyway.
Yep.
Howard trying to stay on the bag and just couldn't reach far enough. So, yeah, good call indeed. Base hit for Chris Bryant. So with 2 outs, runner on first, Miguel Montero steps in. Single his last 2 at bats, 2 for 3. Got on base 3 times. It's just outside for a ball. It's 1-0. Ripped past Ryan Howard down the right field line. It's going to hit off the half wall. Chris Bryant didn't see it, but even after stopping at second, he was able to move ahead to third. So runners on the corners. That'll be a base hit for Montero, his 3rd straight base hit. Ryan Howard made an effort at it, but that was a rocket down the right field line. Take another look.
The ball's hit to Ryan's left. Just goes off the edge of his glove.
Would have been a good play by Howard had he picked it. So now 2 on. Runners on the corners with 2 outs in the 9th. Javier Baez 0 for 4 game 2. Batting .303 since being called up. He swings and misses at that one. He does not get cheated, does he? I wish people could see your reaction right now.
Well, no, he doesn't. I mean, that's, you know, we call a big swing a back leg. That's going back leg and lower back swing.
It was a cut for sure, and takes a cut at that one. He's going to find the seats, so it's quickly 0-2 now to Javier Baez.
Well, I have no problems with someone who swings hard and takes a big hard, as long as the swing is under control. You know, you look at a hard swing, you look at balance, you look at the way he finishes. That first swing, that's the pitcher swing. You're posing for a pitcher after you take the swing.
And you said that's okay, first strikes.
It is for the first pitch.
The 0-2 pitch, it's in the dirt. Did he go? No. So it's 1-2 now. Nice stop by Cameron Rupp. Able to get to his right quickly. Baez digs in. Runners on the corners. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and popped foul. That's going to go over the Phillies dugout and out of play. Ryan Howard giving chase, but he runs out of room. So we'll do it again.
Now you try to climb the ladder a little bit higher. You've seen that Baez will go after that high fastball. Let's throw in about letter high right down the middle. Right at the mask.
Rupp setting up. And that's a ground ball to the shortstop. Bronco will go the short way to Hernandez for the final out. 6-4 is the put out. That's the third out of the inning. So the Phils with one final chance. They trail by 4 as we head to the bottom of the ninth. Provides his analysis and breaks down tonight's doubleheader. Only Pure Auto Insurance presents Phillies post-game live here on Comcast Sportsnet. Look forward to that. He and Steve Bucci handling the desk. We'll break down both games 1 and 2 of this doubleheader. Phils trail at 7-3. They have one last chance to earn a split in this doubleheader after losing game 1. The new pitcher for the Phils, 38-year-old Fernando Rodney, appearing in his 7th game for the Cubs. He's 1-0 with a 1.59 ERA since coming over here to Chicago from Seattle. From the Dominican Republic. He's been around a long time. 48 saves a year ago. He led all the majors with 48 saves. It's a Mariners club record as well. Still doing it. He's struggling a little bit out there in Seattle. finding new life here in Chicago, and the first pitch from Rodney is over for a strike.
One of the best changeups in baseball I've seen in a long time. He can top out 93, 96. That changeup, 81, 84. There it was right there.
Blanco was ahead of it. And it's 0-2 quickly to Andres Blanco. Dave Didinger with that foul ball recovery right there. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and that's low and outside for a ball. It's 1-2. Blanco, Francoeur, and Howard here in the ninth. Phillies trail by 4. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Oh, that hit him. Got him right on the backside, if I'm not mistaken. And Andres Blanco is aboard. Take another look to see where that hit him. I couldn't tell if it hit him on the elbow or straight on the backside.
I think it hit right off the belt.
Ooh, yeah. Well, tough way to earn your base, but Blanco will take it. And Jeff Francoeur steps in on the right side. He takes the first pitch from Rodney over for a strike. It's 0-1. Ball, so it's 1-1 now to Jeff Francoeur. Nobody out. Bottom of the ninth. Andres Blanco takes his lead off of first. Pitch. Swing and a miss. There's that changeup you're talking about, Matt.
It's good. Trying to pick up the rotation.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's fouled back. So Rodney has his sign. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Ground ball. Just foul. Past the third base bag. So the count remains 1-2.
Murph, you're putting in a long day today. You got a double header. You got a round table tonight with Scott in
That's right.
LA.
Radio roundtable coming up after this. 1-2. The ball's low. It's 2-2. It's all right. Another cup of coffee. The good folks at Who But WB.
Think energy.
That's right. I'm thinking energy for sure. Count is 2-2 to Jeff Francoeur. Andres Blanco takes his lead off first, not being held on, and that one is drilled into the hole between first and second. Blanco is going to drop anchor there at second. So first two runners aboard here in the ninth. A little bit of life for the Phils. Nice piece of hitting by Jeff Francoeur.
Going with a fastball.
Yep. And that's going to prompt a visit from Joe Madden. And looks like he's made the call to the bullpen. So Fernando Rodney's night is done. Another pitching change here in Philadelphia. Bottom of the ninth, Phils have something brewing. Tell you the details when we come back. Decided to tap his closer, Hector Rondon, the new pitcher. You see his numbers 5 and 3 with an ERA of 1.45. He's converted 27 of his 31 save chances so far this year. He's held the opponent scoreless in 54 of his 63 innings. And he is going to be charged with wrapping this one up. Nobody out. A little bit of trouble for the Cubs as the Phils have their first 2 men aboard. Andres Blanco was hit by a pitch, and then Jeff Francoeur singled to runners at first and second with nobody out. Phils trail by 4. The tying run is in the on-deck circle. And the first one of Cameron Rupp, and coming to the plate is Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard finally broke out of his 0 for streak with a double in his last at bat. Another double right here would go a long way to making things interesting. So he steps in against Rondon. The first pitch is over for a strike.
Very good fastball. Will top it at 98 miles an hour. Very good cutter. Will top it at 94. Throws a slider and a change as well.
The 0-1 pitch, and that's fouled off, so it's 0-2 now to Ryan Howard. Yeah, Rondon is a strikeout pitcher. He struck out 61 batters in 62 innings. He's walked just 14. So he's in and around the zone, and he throws hard. That's what you want in your closer. And he has his sign from Montero. The runners lead off first and second. The 0-2 pitch is high for a ball. It's 1-2. Time is called. Howard steps back in. Blanco leads off second. Francoeur off of first. From the stretch. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and he got it. So Ryan Howard is a strikeout victim. That's the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up Cameron Rupp.
A good location for a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Ties him up. You can see he can't get extended. Good pitch. Good placement. Good velocity.
All right, so Cameron Rupp will look to pick up his teammate. Cam 0 for 3 on the night. Batting .236 on the season. Does have those 8 home runs and 24 RBIs. First pitch to Rupp is over for a strike. It's been a while since we've seen Cameron lace a ball. He was red hot in the month of August. Let's see what he can do here. The 0-1 pitch. Now straight back. He had 7 home runs in the month of August. First Phillies catcher to do that since Mike Lieberthal did it back in 2002. None in September so far. A pretty good time right now. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Check swing. There we go. No. Says Ryan Blakely. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and he got it. Second consecutive strikeout for Rondon, and now there's 2 outs with runners on first and second.
Well, this is a very good slider. You think it's going to be a heater? Boom, drops out of the zone.
Yeah, good pitch.
Tight rotation, hard to pick up the rotation.
So Hector Rondon coming in and doing what he does best, and that is getting out of a tight spot with some strikeouts. Brian Bogusevic is the Phils' last chance to keep this one alive. He singled his last at bat. He fouls that one straight back. So it's 0-1 to Brian Bogasevic. So here's the 0-1 pitch. He swings through that one. It's 0-2. Phil's lost the first game 5-1. They trail here 7-3. 0-2 count, 2 outs here in the bottom of the ninth. Tying run is in the on-deck circle, but first Brian Bogasevic is going to have to do some damage. A pitch to him, check swing to third base. Brian picks it up, thinks about second, but then goes across the diamond. A high throw, but Rizzo's able to grab it for the third out of the inning, and that will do it. Hector Rondon comes in and puts the fire out. 1-2-3 goes strikeout, strikeout, ground out, and that'll do it as the Cubs sweep the double player. Our Chevy player of the game, well, yeah, no figure there. Kyle Schwarber, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, and 3 runs. It's a pretty good defense as well, Matt.
It was, and it was 2 home runs on 2 pitches, on 2 different types of pitches. He also made the Hyundai defensive play of the game as well. So, all in all, he had a very nice game. And guess what? What's the Chevrolet player of the game?
Well, the Cubs win game 2, 7-3. They had 12 hits. The Phillies with 5. We'll be back to put a wrap on this one in just a minute.